Today on Biggers and Summers, multi-platinum singing sensation Paula Abdul. Awards, and I have room to mention. She's back to do her magic all over again, hitting the airwaves with her latest release, Ain't Never Gonna Give You Up. Let's take a look, and we'll go talk to Paula. Live and in person. Welcome.
Thank you.
I have a first question, which I'm just going to pass because my wife knows that I have the maddest crush on you. It's just unbelievable.
Well, you were cool as a cucumber in the green room.
I tried to be. I just tried to be so
never would have guessed that.
Wouldn't have known that, huh?
Not at all.
I watched you for years when I would go to the Lakers games and see you dancing around out there. Look at this. Yes. You have this new album. It's been 4 years since the last one. What was going on in the meantime there?
Oh, plenty. Do you have about 2 hours?
Yes.
Everything. Since the time I broke into choreography, I never took time off. So for about 8 years straight, from choreography into my first album and my second album and a world tour, I never took time off. So I needed to take some time off.
For someone who's career-oriented and is energetic, we know so much the volume of your work. How are you when you take time off, Paula?
I was climbing the wall.
Were you really?
I enjoyed about 3 months, and I said, okay, it's time to get back to work.
That's what I was thinking. If I had the opportunity to take some time off, how long could I last? And I always say 6 months, but I bet after 90 days, you're just ready to get back and start dancing and singing and do it what you do.
Exactly.
Now, in reading the research on you, I get the feeling that you like to be in total control.
No. I used to be. I used to be a control freak.
What changed?
Age. Age and years of being in the business, I guess. I still consider myself kind of a baby in the business. It hasn't been that long for me, but having been behind the cameras and directing people where to go and doing all of that, that was very much being in control. And then when I crossed to the other side, being in front of the camera, it was more of me learning how to delegate responsibilities because it became overwhelming. Had to have a lot.
But ultimately, don't you just trust your instincts the most, Paula?
Yes, I do. And when I go against them, it's proven to be a mistake, you know?
And let's talk about that transition from one side of the camera to the other. Did you spend a lot of years when you were doing choreography for such high-profile people like Michael Jackson, which was your first big break, and moving into Janet, who now, of course, you've made her really very much what her style is from you. What was it like in that transition in terms of ego for you? Were you a natural when you got in front of the camera and started to realize you always had that ego you've been hiding when you were working with all these big stars?
Well, what it is when I was 4 years old, that is my earliest memory, and it's the earliest memory that my parents had of me was when I was 4 years old watching Singing in the Rain, and it had such a strange impact, powerful impact on me that I knew at 4 years old that I wanted to be an entertainer. So, I clearly had my path set out for me, and I always knew what I wanted to do. But I fell into choreography, and it became successful for me. And I always thought, one day, I'm going to be able to do this myself, get out there and do it.
Can I just ask one question about this Gene Kelly period? Because I thought this was so funny that I read about you that in high school you actually had a Gene Kelly period. Were the other girls coming as like Madonna, like a virgin, but you were like in trousers and loafers? Or?
Oh yeah, I would dress just like Gene Kelly.
Really?
You met him?
Yes, he's a dear, dear man. He invited me over for tea. I was supposed to meet with him for about an hour, and I think I stayed there for about 7 hours.
Did you? The commercial that was so famous when it first came out.
Now, what did you talk about with Gene
what did he teach you?
Oh my God, everything. We talked about all his movies because I've seen every single one of them over and over again. I asked him questions about him doing all of his own stunts, and he did all of his own work, and how back in the MGM musicals, the rehearsal time and how long it took to prepare for everything.
And is there a certain sort of step or a lightness in his feet that you've picked up on and built in? Well, which aspect of his finesse have you really adopted?
Well, he's very athletic, and I consider myself to be very athletic with dance as well.
Did you have a master plan? Because I know when you went to audition for the Laker Girls, you wore an outfit that made you stand out. Because when tell the folks what you were wearing.
It was obnoxious. I can't even believe that my sister let me out of the house looking like that. I wore a red and white striped leotard with blue tights. How, what a nerd.
It worked.
Oh God, it was during the time when girls wore leg warmers and headbands too.
I remember that time. It wasn't that long ago, Paula. But did you have a plan where you say, first I'm going to be a Laker girl, and then I'm going to, you know, become a big choreographer? Was there any master plan at all?
There was no master plan. At that time, it was, I'm going to college, my first year in college, and I need a part-time job. And my friends told me about Laker girl auditions, and I just went for fun to audition.
And I've never seen the Laker girls in person, not being a member of the Southern California world, but was that intimidating some of the times to be on the floor? I guess it would be the Forum and performing and seeing like all those. Were there a lot of celebrities in the audience at the time?
It was very intimidating being about 25 feet away from Jack Nicholson sitting on the floor, and every time we'd get out there to dance, he'd pick up his binoculars. And we're 25 feet away. I mean, it became a very uncomfortable.
I would imagine.
And did you have a lot of local celebrity as a Laker girl? Were you recognized at the supermarket at Sloan's and that kind of thing?
No.
No, it wasn't. You weren't a big celebrity.
More the sports fans.
Yeah, you were the star, no question about it. Well, we're going to take a short break, come back and talk about Paula Abdul's Get Up and Dance. Now, you're telling me that those klutzes such as myself can actually learn how to dance off of this thing?
You'd be surprised. You put on that tape and you will be ready for a Radio City Music Hall.
All right, well, you heard it first here. We're going to come back and talk with Paula about that. And some other good things along the way, so stay tuned. We're live. It's Biggers and Summers. We're on Lifetime.
Career as a choreographer, those days as a Laker girl, and now she's a singer, of course, songwriter, and she's adding a new line to her resume, fitness expert. Should we take a quick look at this exercise video, show everybody what it looks like? Mark, even you can do this.
I got to see.
Let's take a look.
Slide with George Jetson. Everybody ready? Here we go. Let's go. Slide. Aim forward. And back again and slide. What comes next? Let's step go. Punch. Walk around. Jump it out. Punch. Punch. Walk around. 2 more. Punch. Walk around. Punch. What comes next?
Yeah, that looks like fun.
Doesn't that look like fun?
Makes you want to get up and dance.
All right, Miss
There he
Abdul,
goes.
I'm
He's
ready.
getting up and dancing.
Wait. We should have done this during a commercial break.
Well, I told you I have no coordination. Athletically, I'm fine, but I cannot dance. Can you just show me a little move where I can just kind of flow into this thing? Come on, just a little thing. Come on, you're going to enjoy it? You're good. See,
no,
Sissy's a great dancer.
Come on.
Come on, Sis.
All right, Paul.
All right,
How
what do we
can I
do?
pass up this opportunity?
All right.
Now, the thing that's great about this video is that I use all everyday people. And
Okay.
what we did is everyday people, no dancers, no
Okay.
professionals.
Yeah, you got me here.
Okay, here's what we're going to do, just for
Paula,
a warm-up.
were they wearing like mohair luncheon suits while they were doing this video?
No,
And
and they
pumps?
weren't wearing heels like this.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Just as long as we're all even.
Okay, this was called a funky slide. We step up with the right foot and we step forward. 1, 2, and.
Okay,
So
not bad.
it's right, left, right. Now we step back with the left foot. We go left, back, step right, left. Easy.
But you just move so smoothly.
Well, you can just move right,
I get it.
left, right, back, left. Right,
yeah.
now we're going to go to the side.
All
To the
righty.
right, step left, right. To the left, left, step right, left. We go forward, right, right, back, left. To the right,
Hey, I'm getting it.
the funky slide to the left.
Oh, yeah, all right.
That's
I'm a
easy.
changed man.
Paula, when
2 left feet.
with steps like that, though, does it ever, for the novices like us, does the concentration on the steps kind of make them forget their
Forget
exercising?
they're exercising, and then an hour goes by, they're sweating bullets,
Right.
and they're having fun.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like I'd love to. Can I be in one of your videos when you have like 100 people, and I'll be way in the back?
No, I'm going to put you right up in the front.
Right in the front.
no.
You'd be good.
We can go back.
Relax
Because
here.
I thought that looked like so much fun.
It is
to
fun.
You have to watch it because the thing is that's great about this tape is that if you flub up on some of the steps, it's no big deal. You push pause, you watch it again, and the great thing is once you get better with it, you put your own style into it.
Now, let's talk about in this transition for you, Paul, and now you virtually are recognized, I assume, wherever you go, and the impact that fame has had on your life. This is something I'm always wishing for. Mark's always telling me to be careful what I wish for.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah?
It's true. It is. It's incredible. It's overwhelming. I think the most exciting thing my manager could probably tell you is that we're on a plane and And someone said, "Can I have your autograph?" And I went, "Oh, me? Yes, you are Paula Abdul." I said, "Yeah, I am. Sure." And I started signing, and I go, "Ask me for my autograph." And he said, "Yeah, this is just the start, Paula."
And now what is it like for you? Do
Well,
you ever get over that? Or
you know what it is it's such a level of appreciation that I have for my fans and for the people that appreciate what I do. I mean, you always strive to have people appreciate what you do, and that's the best gift in the world.
And then when you got involved with Emilia Estevez, who you eventually married, what was it like to have the dual career pressure of fame?
It's a little difficult, I'll be honest. It's you have two careers, two people that are constantly working at different levels. You know, we're never on the same time frame. You know, everyone, when I'm working during the day, he'll be working nighttime, and jobs that take us far away, that used to take us far away from each other, it makes it a little bit more difficult.
You've been quite open about your bulimia.
Yes, I have.
A question I have is being a bulimic like being an alcoholic, do you ever fully get cured, or is it a day-to-day situation?
Well, it's, there's a major difference, because an alcoholic, all an alcoholic has to learn how to do is stop taking that drink, that sip. With food, it's never, you have to live with food. You have to learn to have frankly, a great relationship with food. And so, yes, you do get into a recovery, and you practice your recovery on a day-to-day basis. And it really is, the three things I work on a day-to-day basis is being conscious about, do I exercise and not over-exercise, because I used to be very compulsive about that. So I exercise reasonably, an hour a day. I eat 3 meals. I like candy. I have candy, but I'm not crazy about it. And the most important thing is that I'm accepting of myself now, which was the hardest part. That's the hardest part of all. And miraculous things happen when you start being accepting of yourself. And then there is not an issue of body shape or size or pounds or how much you weigh and all that.
But that's something that started when you were a teen. You were.
I mean, but it starts even younger than that. I mean, it starts with an idea that's placed in your head when you're very young. For me, it was my ballet teacher who told me, "Oh, you're such a short little cute thing. Oh, look at your short little legs." And at 7 years old, I'm being pointed out that I'm not long and tall like the rest of the girls. So a thought like that gets into your head that I'm not normal, or I'm not like them. So you start wishing that you could be something that you can't be physically, because it's genetically, it's in the genes. You know, my father's 5'6.5", and my mom's 5'3". I don't think I'm going to be 5'7".
No,
I don't think so.
When you say you were obsessive about exercise, how many hours would you go on the treadmill and lift weights and
it was beyond that. You know, that there's different forms of bulimia, and for me, being a bulimic exerciser is one that would calculate, I had an apple, that's about 70 calories, and I had, so if I go on the treadmill for 15 minutes, I'll have burned up the apple, you know, that kind of,
really wrapped up.
And so many girls, I mean, I have yet to meet a girl, especially in this business, but even outside the business, who does not have some kind of issue with their size and shape. So it's a very big problem these days that a lot of people don't know a lot of knowledge about it, but more and more every day.
Well, we do know more. And what advice would you give, Paula, to parents who have a 14-year-old who's maybe doing that treadmill scene after an apple? What kind of language would you suggest that they use?
To be really aware of what's going on inside. Really, it's not about the food. I mean, a lot of people think that it's all about the food. It has nothing to do with the food. Food is just a way of acting out, not being able to talk about what's really eating you up inside.
Let me
Be listening.
a quick left turn, because I know we have to take a break here. The music video, Crazy Cool. Incredibly sexy, sensuous, but VH1 had a problem with it. I know I'm watching VH1 because every time I flip by, there's a Paula Abdul video on there. It's amazing. It's great. But did you do that to kind of raise some interest in a music that hasn't been heard in 3 or 4 years?
Absolutely not.
No.
You know, it was choreography. What you're talking about is that there was a scene where I'm dancing, I step over a cane and I rock my hips forward and back. And I mean, this is amazing to me because what does that have to,
Yeah.
you know,
Like that bottle of beer representation. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Artistic expression.
That's, you know, tongue-in-cheek fun. You know, I'm poking fun at myself in the video, so,
Okay.
you know.
I'll accept that.
It just was all fun.
Okay. What kind of candy do you like?
Oh, hot tamales and Tootsie Rolls.
Oh gosh, Tootsie Rolls, man, they're the best, aren't they? But they don't taste as good as they used to when I was a kid. Do you notice a change in the...
I still like
You
them.
still...
I love cinnamon, too.
Okay.
You know, Mark, the Tootsie Rolls haven't changed.
It's me?
Nonsense. Paul, you're going to stay with us for a little bit because we have a great performance
I'm really looking
by
forward to
Jam
that.
on the Groove, and I think it's a thrill for them to have you here today as well.
I'm excited. It's like
So stay tuned to that. You're going to see some amazing artistry of questions for these guys.
They're awesome.
Aren't they cool? So stay.
Monday, and I like the gentleman.
I mean, and limber as can be. You guys are awesome.
This gentleman over here came right to you, and he just said he was, you know, thrilled to meet you. Now, what influence has Paula had?
The video that you had with the cat.
Opposites attract.
Opposite attracts. Yeah. Yeah, you had,
Thank you.
that was nasty.
That was it, huh?
Well, you guys certainly love what you're doing, and you're so passionate about it, and that's the best thing to see. You're so committed.
Now, something that looks like requires an incredible amount of commitment is the head spin. Which one of you does the head spin? There we go. He's putting on the paraphernalia. I had to show this to my... I was hoping for that. For
Where
you
do
guys.
these new moves come from? How do you think of these things when you go into choreograph a new CD or you know, a new act?
Well, it's interesting because I find it, and like how you get inspired, how you were inspired by some of the original Lockers movement, you know, everything old becomes new again. And you can watch some of the most classic old musicals. You can watch some of the earliest stuff Bob Fosse's done, and or Jack Cole, or, you know, you have all these wonderful choreographers and dancers that you see back in the MGM musicals, and the kind of stuff that they did, that it's timeless. You could bring it back today, add your own, you know, your own influence on it, and it becomes something that people aren't used to seeing.
And when you say that it comes from Los Angeles, or someone said that was from Brooklyn, are these moves that kids are doing literally on the street?
I hope if you're coming to New York,
Same to you, Paula. The CD is Head Over Heels, and the Get Up and Dance video, which we proved that anybody can do it.
No,
Well,
almost.
almost anybody can do it.
We're gonna come back.